I am 9 years old, in bed, in the dark. The detail of the room is perfectly clear. I am lying on my back. I have a greeny gold quilted eider down covering me. I have just calculated that I will be 50 years old in 1997. 50 and 1997 don't mean a thing to me, aside from being an answer to an arithmetic question I set aside for myself. I try it differently. I will be 50 in 1997. 1997 doesn't matter. I will be 50. The statement is absurd. I am 9. I will be 10 makes more sense. I will be 13 has a dreamlike maturity about it. I will be 50 is simply a paraphrase for another senseless statement I make for myself at night.
I'm black and male. My struggle is great. For I am judged for just being. I am instantly considered a fiend, one to fear, one who does not care about me, about you. Most of the times, that's not true. I'm considered the least amongst the rest. I'm expected not to achieve my best. My inheritance is one that's broken. I'm expected to die before my time, never attending the goal that is mine. I'm black and male, a fact I sometimes hate. I am judged for just being free, to simply live and be, to drive a car, to walk the streets, and when I do, I am feared, simply for my nappy hair. If I try to voice my defense, I can find myself facing an offense, for I am black and male. My colleagues of another race do not endure what I face. To them is given every grace to simply live and be and walk the streets in peace, for they are not black and male. So what do? To society's expectations, do I become a true failure, be in prison without hope, or shatter and break out that mold and be the empowered me, respectfully black and male, excitingly, unapologetic, regardless me, no longer hating, being afraid of being black and male.
Richie doesn't speak. He watches her. Laura breaks for the stop sign. It's a good thing Daddy works as late as he does. We'll put it all together in time, don't you think so? She glances at him. She meets his eyes and sees something she can't quite recognize. His eyes, his entire face, seem lit from within. He appears for the first time to be suffering from an emotion she can't read. Honey, she says. What is it? He says louder than necessary. Mommy, I love you. There's something odd in his voice, something chilling. It is a tone she's never heard from him before. He sounds frantic, foreign. He could be a refugee, someone with only rudimentary English trying desperately to convey a need for which he has not learned the proper phrase. I love you too, baby, she replies, and although she said the words thousands of times, she can hear the final nervousness now lodged in her throat. The effort she must make to sound natural. She accelerates through the intersection. She drives carefully, with both hands precisely on the wheel.
One more thing, gentlemen, before I quit. Thomas Jefferson once said that all men are created equal, a phrase in which the Yankees and the distaff side of the executive branch of Washington are fond of hurling at us. There is a tendency in this year of grace, 1935, for certain people to use this phrase out of context to satisfy all conditions. The most ridiculous example I could think of is the people who run public education promote the stupid and idle along with the industrious. Because all men are created equal, educators will gravely tell you, the children left behind suffered terrible feelings of inferiority. We know all men are not created equal. In a sense, some people have this belief. Some people are smarter than others. Some people make more. Some people have more opportunity because they're born with it. Some men make more money than others. Some ladies make better cakes than others. Some people are born beyond the normal scope of most men. But there is one way in this country in which all men are created equal. There is one human institution that makes a pauper the equal of a Rockefeller, the stupid man equal of an Einstein, and the ignorant man equal of any college president. That institution, gentlemen, is a court. It can be the Supreme Court of the United States or the humblest JP court in the land, or this honorable court in which you serve. Our courts have their faults, as does any human institution. But in this country, our courts are great levelers, and in our courts, all men are created equal.
I need to send a note to Bosnia to help the people understand about peace and about war, and especially about heart songs. I need to tell them about saving the earth and the people, and the life now and after we die. This is what my note will say. Dear Bosnia, I have heard about you having wars, and I really want it to stop, because we can spread peace and heart songs around the world. Instead of anger and hating, we just stop the fighting and killing, and start some hugging and kissing. We all say I'm sorry together, and there would be no need for wars. I am sending you some poems I wrote to help you remember about peace in our world and about the children. Quickly stop their arguments quickly, and then they go on loving and playing. Children need grown-ups, though, to help them grow up. Children do what the grown-ups say. So please do what the children need and stop the wars and fighting. We must lay down our weapons and become family again. In the power of hate, but instead we should be interested in the power of love.
And God stepped out on space, and he looked around and said, I'm lonely. I'll make me a world. And as far as the eyes of God could see, darkness covered everything, blacker than 100 midnights down in a cypress swamp. Then God smiled. And the light broke, and the darkness rolled up on one side. The light stood shining in the other, and God said, that's good. Then God reached out and took the lights in his hands, and God rolled the light in his hands until he made the sun, and he set the sun ablazing in the heavens. The light that was left from the sun, God gathered it up in a shining ball and flung it against the darkness, spangling the night, the moon, and the stars. Then down between the darkness and the light, he hurled the world, and God said, that's good.
Every person who comes to the ranch is in need of some form of physical or mental help. They are patients. But also every person who comes to the ranch is in charge of taking care of someone else, whether it's cooking for them, cleaning them, or even as simple a task as listening. That makes them doctors. I use this term broadly, gentlemen, but is not a doctor someone who helps someone else? When did the term doctor get treated with such reverence as, oh, right this way, Dr. Smith, or excuse me, Dr. Scholl, what wonderful foot pads, or pardon me, Dr. Patterson, but your flatulence has no odor. At what point in history did a doctor become more than a trusted and learned friend who visited and treated the ill? Now you ask me if I've been practicing medicine. Well, if this means opening your door to those in need, those in pain, caring for them, listening to them, applying a cold cloth until a fever breaks, if this is practicing medicine, if this is treating a patient, then I am guilty as charged, sir.